So the Indian government, the Chinese government, the Russian government, the Japanese government, they're moving into precious metals across the board, including industrial metals like copper. You can just Google governments buying copper, and it's a run on copper. There's a run to commodities, real commodities, and you're right. There's a flight from currencies globally. And so I guess they've got to kill the global currencies to bring in the real world currency.
Well, and I don't think it's going to be SDRs because they've been unsuccessful before. They're backed by nothing. And I think that what they'll do is go for a basket of currencies and say that we're going to have gold backing when, in fact, they won't. And that's the way I think they're going to get away with trying to make their world currency. But because of programs like this, people are aware that this is what they're up to. And they're not going to let that happen in their country, whether it's Colombia or Bolivia or Tashkent or wherever it is.
That's right. A global government.
They're not going to let them do it.
A global government setting the currency rates. Let's go to the calls here. Thanks for holding. Paul in Florida, you're on the air.
Alex.
Hi.
Yeah, I've been in InfoWars since 1981. My punk band from Florida saying about everything that's happening right now. But I'm hard to keep on subject. I really appreciate your work. I just wanted to talk about what you mentioned early in the show, which is torture. You know, the Delta Force, they're like federal agents, and they can dress however they like. They don't wear ranking badges, but everyone...
Yeah, they're under the National Security Council. That's Cheney's hit team. It's only Bush. No, it's been around for decades. It's still going on, and it's not even really part of the military, yes.
Yeah, and I think it was them who moved into the World Trade Center to wire all the explosives. And I have an Army friend who was at Fort Detrick, Maryland, and he told me about how they choose their members. They look for sick... He thought they looked for sick, demented people who are... who would confirm as yes men and who get off on being plugged into the chain of command, you know, as if they were the top gun. So I think that's the mentality.
Yeah, I heard Limbaugh about 10 years ago, and then I confirmed it with the Delta Force and other groups. There's other secret groups after that. They give them, after they've gone through all these months of training and the psychological warfare and all the tests, and all these guys have washed out, you know, from the Navy SEALs and Marine Force Recon and the Green Berets. You know, it's this joint deal. They then put them in a little shack with Machiavelli's The Prince. And they ask them to write an essay on it, just like they do high-level Masons. And if they say, oh, I don't agree with end justifies the means and doing all these evil things to, you know, for the greater good in the end, they go, oh, you don't pass, but we want you for something else. But if you say, oh, yes, I think doing evil for good is good, they say, that's it, you graduate. And they can also, and then they do other psychological testing. But go ahead.
Yeah, and so what my idea is that what they're going to do is when they need a change